Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to the Smoking Simian podcast. I hope you guys had a great weekend. You guys always make the right choice when you decide to start your day with the show. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's episodes. Those were a lot of fun, especially with James and John. That's the first time they met, by the way. Some people that know us are probably like, how do you guys know each other? First time they met. So it was interesting. They're very similar, but very different in a lot of ways, which is cool. I mean, I never really... Hold on one second. I don't want this shit to pick up there. There we go. I never realized being able to bring different people together was like something to be appreciated. John is someone who does that very well, John Larkin. Through his gym, through just the way he is. He invites all different kinds of people all over. It's not everybody's cup of tea. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily do that. But it is an interesting thing because, as far as I go and as far as the people I want to associate around, I like being around interesting people. I like to watch interesting things and be entertained by stuff that is a little out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? If you don't got a little edge, not a little interesting, you're just this regular, I'm just normal. I do what everybody likes. I like what everybody likes, and I do what everybody else does. I eat what they eat. I have no opinions. The ones I do, I don't voice them very often. I keep them to myself. Wouldn't want to upset anyone. Those type of people can... go somewhere that's not too close to me. If I can hear you saying some of those things, then it's like, you're too close, or we need somebody in between to be loud, an interesting person, you know what I'm saying? When I used to deliver the bread, one of the guys that worked there was an interesting guy, and doesn't necessarily mean he was a good guy. He was a piece of shit. I always just talk about him on here, Crackhead Mike. But he had an interesting point where he would, he's like, you could take the highway and you can go whatever way you want when you're doing the route, but I mean... I like to go this way because it drives through the hood and I can see all the crackheads and crazy people. And I've always resonated with that. I have. It's weird. I've always been interested in what brought somebody to a point of being a crazy person. Like an actual crazy person. Some people it's just mental illness. And that's something you more or less can't help. Some people are born with it. It's just mental illness. Something snaps, something goes haywire. And that's one explanation as to what happens to some people, but I find it most interesting when it's a regular person, more or less, a normal person by everybody's standards, by societal standards. A normal person has a job, has a wife, has a kid, or maybe doesn't have a wife or a kid, but does what the fuck a normal person does, and then all of a sudden they're just a straight kook. They're a straight crazy person. They might still do a lot of what normal people do, but they're also a little crazy. Like, I'm not going to say who it is, but there's a person that you meet when you work in a restaurant. Usually this person is there. And this is across all platforms. There's usually a person or people that you meet that have followed this path that I'm going to speak about now, because I've met this person a bunch of different times. It's the person that had something, really had something that they've wanted, something that they've always wanted, something that society told them that they needed, whether it be wealth or a family or a house or a dog or something that made them happy, a promising career. And then they end up in a restaurant, and maybe they started in restaurants. They were somewhere great, but something went haywire, and now they're doing a lower level than they're used to. They're operating at a lower level than they were used to before whatever happened. Drugs, fucked up thing in your life, a bad relationship, whatever, the death of someone you really loved. So many things that could affect people's psyche and turn them into a crazy motherfucker. And that shit is just so darn interesting to me, don't you think? The psychology that it takes to, for example, right? I was watching there's this series on YouTube. I'm forgetting the guy's name, but it's called Morbid Musicians. And this guy gets these crazy people. Doesn't get them, I'm sorry. He covers them. He's like I guess more or less a journalist. I don't know. That's how it kind of the video is made, right? He'll pick a musician and he'll talk about it, their life, what led them to where they are or where they were, because most of these people kill themselves or they die or disappear some strange way. And to really see the evolution of a guy like G.G., I don't even know his full name, G.G. Allen, I think his name is. He was the punk guy. Most people won't know who I'm talking about, but he was a savage animal, man, and he grew up in the woods in New Hampshire with his dad and his mom, who he describes, and his brother. The way he describes it was that he was chained to his dad, who was chained to himself, more or less. So, they had very little interaction with the outside world, no running water, none of that shit. It was a very depraved childhood. Then he grows up to be this insane punk rock figure who talks about all type of crazy things, and he does heroin, and he said he's going to kill himself on stage. He shits and pisses on the stage. Like, that is a grade A crazy person. That is a grade A crazy person that we actually can learn from. This goes back on last week's episode. There's learning to be done all over the place. Not just how crazy this guy is, because sometimes crazy people have shit to say. And that guy in particular had some things to say. Yeah, he took it to the very extreme, about the idea of the corporate overlords. Yeah, we all have those undertones. We have jokes, and some people are very serious about it. But this guy was just balls to the wall, going crazy. You're going to have to witness it and mutilate myself on stage, piss and shit and throw it at people. Like, that's disgusting. It's terrible. It's an awful act. But it's interesting to find out how that guy got where he was. Long story short, he killed himself with a heroin overdose on accident. I don't know how I got into this deep dive of the psyche of crazy people. I'm forgetting. Oh, bringing people together. Yeah, it's I'm not this person, kumbaya, let's all, the way John Larkin acts, it's easy for, that's just what he does. He innately brings people together because he just invites all different kinds of people to all different kinds of things. So for him, it's like a natural born skill. But to see other people do it, like, managers of sales teams, for example, or generals of army, companies. I don't know what the fuck they're called. Teams, right? Army team, SEAL team, whatever. You follow me? The guys who can bring teams together. The people who bring teams together. Because that's essentially what you're doing. You're taking all different kinds of people you never met. So you're going to weed them out. The ones who don't want to be there, don't want to be there. And the ones who are there, they all have something in common, but they're all very different, which is an interesting concept in and of itself. So I just wanted to start this episode by talking about that and talking about that and talking about that. Some other things that's been going on in my life. I have realized that I'm a fat slob. I am. I had to realize it, though. That's the thing. The way that my mind works, I am fueled off my insecurities. I think I talked about this last time. After a while, you got to look in the mirror and say, hey, what's going on here? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Do you still want to complain that you're chubby on the sides and all these things, or do you want to fix something here? So this past week, I'm re-ushering some discipline when it comes to physical fitness. Yes, I hurt my back, and it was a huge setback because it was right around the time that I had decided, all right, I'm going to do these days. It's when I had made a schedule for exercise, put it that way. It's when I had made a new schedule. Initially, I was going to do 2 days of lifting to get stronger, power moves, deadlifts, squats, bench, shoulder press, some accessory stuff. 2 days of that, and then 2 days of explosive work. And then all mixed in through there, I wanted to get some days of cardio, which is riding my bike, swimming, or running. And then I would have 1 day a week where I do kind of a triathlon thing where I'll run, swim, and bike. So right now, due to the back injury, that took the wind out of all those ideas and stressed me out and made me upset and did all these things that happen to us as motherfucking humans. It's something we just got to deal with. We got to pick up and move. But I realized, I'm like, hey, I can still exercise. Just because I can't be an animal and do box jumps and sprints uphill, I can't even really run, you know what I'm saying? Just because I have to take it easy in these other places doesn't mean I can't still go hard and, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I can't spar, but I can still hit the bag. I can't run, but I can swim. I can't lift, but I can do body weight stuff. I can do pull-ups and push-ups and sit-ups and dips and all different variations of those. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I can do something's better than motherfucking nothing. You follow what I'm saying? So that's basically what I realized. And this week I have been riding, this week being last week for you guys. So we'll say a week from airing, right? You guys are listening on a Monday, so a week from today, backwards, I have been riding my bike every single fucking day. And I've really broken it up into, all right, we're either going to ride our bike to the gym and we're going to swim, right? So we can get the double cardio in. And then we'll recover. We got the sauna and the hot tub back open. Or we're going to ride to Hope Street Park, which is the outside park. For people who aren't from Rhode Island, there's an outside park where you can do it's like an adult jungle gym. Rope climbs and... you can do all that kind of thing. It's right behind a school, so if you're a pedophile, it's a great place. I am not. I don't see any there, but I think they're messing up by not taking. That's some good. That's some real estate there. You know what I'm saying? Right behind a school. You know what I'm saying? This is getting slowly more fucked up. But anyway. So I'll ride there, and then I'll ride to the gym from there because it's not that far. And then at the gym, I'll go ahead and I will do some recovery. I'll hit the sauna and I'll hit the hot tub. That helps my back. It helps my body recover and all these other things. So, and in doing all that, I've already realized differences. It's been easier for me to stick to some of the other goals that I've wanted. For example, reading every day, trying to read a little bit every day. I started to fall out of that habit. I did. I finished 2 books, and I was like, all right. And I started this 3rd one, and I started to fall off a little bit. It's like, no. You got to keep it. You got to keep it. You got to keep doing it. Keep doing it. You think Tom Brady stops throwing passes once he's done a few good ones? You think he's, you know what? I don't need to do it anymore. That's the thing. It's there's one thing getting there, but there's another motherfucking thing staying there, boy. That's why goals should be lifelong things. You know, the greater goals. Obviously, we have small goals and even smaller ones. That's just how we make them up. But at the end of the day, I'm realizing that introducing some more discipline and introducing some more regimented stuff that I am forcing myself to do every day. You have to ride your bike. You have to ride your bike. Even if all you do is ride your bike, you have to ride your motherfucking bike. So that's part of it. So I'm realizing doing that, I'm able to not only stick to other goals that I've made, but things are changing. My mindset changes. Your mindset really does change. It's a crazy thing. And I'm not here to say, you can do this and you can do that. And that's maybe where I started this podcast. Like, when I say started this podcast, I mean the thought behind this is to be motivational or whatever. And yeah, maybe it is a little motivational in some sense. The sense that I'm thinking resonates more is when I'm talking about real life stuff. I'm not going to go and say, hey, you got to, and you should this. And though I do say those things, it's not, who am I to tell anybody anything? Who am I to say anything to anybody? Because sometimes I don't listen to a motherfucking person. Sometimes I don't listen to anyone. We all do it. We all think we know. We all think we know better than we do. But nonetheless, I'm realizing that my mind is working differently. I'm having more ideas. So, for example, this podcast is going to be the first podcast that will include some clips. Well, it'll probably be one clip. I'm probably going to start including a separate clip per episode, which I think will be interesting. It'll be another form of content. It'll be some more videos. I just had the idea on Friday. Of, hey, how about we include some clips? And, on Instagram, we already do the little mashup of the video already, so I'll keep that there. I'll use that as a Reels. I'm going to figure out how I can use the thumbnail and size it to an Instagram picture so it works. And it's not all, cagad and whatever. But the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is it really does make a difference. It's made a difference for me. It's definitely made a difference for me when it comes to discipline. Discipline makes a difference. And for a while, I lost that. For a while, I was like, doesn't really make a huge difference. But there needs to be a balance. Am I going to be disciplined 365 days a year? Probably not. But it takes time. I always relate it back to money because I like to think I'm fairly disciplined with my money, for the most part. I try not to overspend. I work on my credit. I don't let it loom over my fucking head and get hit with hella interest and all these things. I pay it. I try and focus on those things. I take the finance stuff more or less seriously. Because I don't want to be in a position where I have to rely on anybody else. So, and I fully well know that could happen. I fully well know that there's a chance that, something goes wrong. This goes back to what we were talking about. Something goes wrong and your whole life is turned upside down and you got to change course. And sometimes that's what drives people to be crazy. Sometimes. There's a whole course change. There's something switch. Something has switched for them. The person that they married doesn't want to be married to them anymore. Their children don't fucking love them. I don't know. That's a fucked up one, right? That's a bad one. Oh, shit. As a parent, you realize your kids don't fuck with you? Oof. Couldn't be me. Could not be me. The more I think about having kids, the more I think about how all the time, I actually tweeted something like this the other day. Every time I come in contact with somebody that has kids, they're usually a younger couple, well, you know what? All ages say it. They just say different things, but a younger couple will say something like, "Oh, we're dying for a babysitter." It's like they just came in from the Sahara. Oh my God. We're dying for a babysitter. We need a night out. Oh my God. That's what it sounds like. Some of these people. Jesus, don't have kids. Sometimes they just blatantly tell you, how old are you? Oh, I'm 24. Oh, don't have kids. I had my first one at 28. Live your life. It just sounds like it's coming from a place of just resentment and sadness and sorrow, that it wasn't something that they wanted. And I would hope that that's never me. Not saying that right now I don't want kids. I don't see myself wanting kids. And if I were to have a kid, I would probably resent it. If we're being real, I would probably be upset. I'd step up to the plate and do my best, but it wouldn't be my ideal situation. You follow what I'm saying? It would be an upsetting thing. But yeah, all the time. There's a guy who comes to the bar that I bartend at on Sundays. And he's one of the guys. He's like, we finally got a babysitter. Oh, it's been hard. Oh. And I'm like, yeah, I can tell. I can see it on your face. You and your wife. You look like you're graying. You look like you're upset. You look like you're. I know you guys are in your 30s, but you look like you're in your 60s. It's very sad. But and then you have older parents, and they're like, oh, finally they're out. Finally, one of them's out. There's the other one. We got two more. I remember hearing my buddy Chris Sandberg, who's been on the show a couple times. I remember I was there the day his oldest brother Alex moved out of the house, and the dad looks at us and he goes, one of them's out. I know he was kidding. He's a great fucking dad. They're a great family, but it's just, it's a double-edged sword, I think. But from what I hear, the good outweighs the bad when being a parent. As long as you're a good parent and it's something that you wanted to do and wanted to be, the good outweighs the bad. That's what I hear. There's so much that you gain from being a parent, and there's so much that you learn and about people and watching one grow up and watching, raising them to be their own person and all that stuff. And that's great. But what if you suck? What if you do a bad job? Now you got a fucked up kid walking around. That's a terrible thing. That's a terrible feeling. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine that being an awful feeling. Messing up on a kid and knowing it big time. Knowing that you messed up on your kids. That's a terrible thing. So that scares me to death, man. It really does. People say, you want to have kids one day, and I'll tell them this exact same thing. They're like, oh, you'd be a great dad. You'd be a great dad. Oh, yeah, what do you mean? You're a good guy, be a great dad. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. You're probably a good driver. Let's put you in the Indy 500. You know what I'm saying? I heard this on a podcast the other day. It was a Joe Rogan podcast with Eric Simpson, I think his name is, or Brian Simpson, something like that. But they were talking about, you can speak. Try and do it in front of all these people. Try and do it in front of 2,000 people. You think you can speak well? Okay. You think you can cook well? All right. Well, we got a dining room that just packed up. We're going to do 300 people in 2 hours. Let's see how well you can cook. It's when there's stakes. And the highest stakes, some of the highest stakes in the world is to have a fucking kid. The miracle of life. The miracle of life that is a few months after you have it, you're itching to get rid of it. You know what? I need a babysitter. Where's my mother? Can I dump this kid off at my mother's house? You think I can do that? Think I can drop her off at my mom's house? I don't have to work or anything. I don't have to do, I just want to go out. I just want to have fun. I want to go get something to eat with the wife. Can I do that, please? To make going out to eat a luxury in your life, that's a scary thing for me, man. That's like the same thing where I think about like 9 o'clock or 9:30 being a late night because you got to get up early. You have to get up early in the morning, every morning. So you have to go to bed at 9:30, 9 o'clock because your work starts at 4. You know what I'm saying? Every fucking day. That shit is scary to me, bro. That is scary. To say that 9 o'clock is an early, it's late. It's 9 o'clock. It's 9:30. To say that going out to eat is a luxury. Then what's going on a plane? If going out to eat is a luxury, then going on a plane and going to a different state, let alone out of the country, a different state, is probably like a once-in-a-lifetime thing, which is true. Some people, my grandfather, he didn't go a whole lot of places. He moved from Italy to Switzerland to here. That's it. He probably went to New York. He probably went to Boston. He went to Florida a couple times, and that is it. People live very, very simple lives, and that is okay if you're okay with it. That's one of my themes on here. That might be the new shirt. It is okay if you're okay with it. I'm going to write that shit down right now. It's okay if you're okay with it. Because Lord knows I won't listen to this whole episode and forget about it. So many things. Like, again, today I forgot to tell you guys to listen, follow me on here and thing and whatever. I'll get used to it. But anyway, I digress. Having children is a scary fucking thing. Chris Sammer just became a dad. You know what I'm saying? Congratulations to him. I think I said it already a couple times, but congratulations to him, and he looks like he's ready to do it. But I couldn't imagine being 23 and, having to deal with that. It's just your life's kind of on hold. It's a new life. It's new adjustments, new things to learn. You have a brand new responsibility. Crazy responsibility. Insane amount of responsibility. No dreams anymore. The dreams are gone. They're much harder. Maybe they're not gone, but they are much harder. You can't put yourself in a shitty predicament for yourself now. You can't. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You can't go bankrupt and, because you want to go all in on some idea that you have. You can't do it. You can't move your location as much anymore. Your freedom of location is done. There's no more of that. You know what I'm saying? That's what worries me. A lot of people don't care about it. He don't care about that. He doesn't care. Chris Sandberg don't care about none of that. Maybe he does, but in real life, it's not like he's traveling all these different places. He's not going all over the place. He's a simple guy. You know what I'm saying? A luxury is going out to eat, going out to have a drink. And it'll be even more of a luxury now with a child. I think about it all the time. He hits me up to, hang out, smoke a joint or whatever, and it's like, that's not going to happen as often anymore. He's going to be way more busy, and eventually it's just going to, might fade out. We'll be friends forever, and I'll always have love for him, but, things change. Situations come up, God damn it. Situations come up. So more power to him. He's happy, and more power to all you people who want to have kids and want to start young and still want to try and make things happen. And when I say no more dreams, I don't mean to sound like a piece of shit, because it sounded very much like a piece of shit. Everybody's dreams are different. Everyone's dreams are different. So maybe part of your dream is to have a kid. You follow me? But in terms of betting on yourself and taking huge risks, they're even more riskier now. If there was a risk that was 10 times the normal risk tolerance, now you have a kid, it doubles easily. It's 20 times. 20 times. It's terrible now. Now if you fuck up a child. You fuck up a child. It's like the movie The Pursuit of Happiness. That they had to sleep in bathrooms or storage room, wherever the fuck they had to do it. That dad was taking a crazy chance. I mean, he already had no money and whatever else. He was at ground zero. That's actually kind of a different. If you're already at ground, fuck it. If you're at the bottom, then it's like, okay, whatever. Take whatever chances you want. But as a young person, all I think about is taking chances and taking risks and being scared. You know what I'm saying? Being scared and having some chaos, having some craziness go on in your life. You know what I'm saying? Move, do things, have stories that have to be told. You should always be creating stories your whole life. But when you're young, when you're 24, 25, when you're in your 20s, bro, even your 30s, your early 30s, you're young, you're a young person. You should be doing all type of crazy things all the time. You know what I'm saying? You should have things. That's why it upsets me when I see people work away their youth. You work away your youth. I mean, we're here to work forever. And there's a fine line between, do I want to work away my youth or do I want to have fun? Because if you do too much of the other, then you're in a shit spot, But this is the time to take risks. And if you have a kid, you ain't taking no damn risks. You ain't taking no damn risks, man. And if you are, it's everything's amplified. All the people that don't think you'll make it, all the people in your family that think it's a bad idea. It's even worse because you got a kid now. You got to get a job. You got to this. No. I do not want that to happen to me. I hope it doesn't happen to people that also don't want it to happen to them, because it's a scary, scary situation to me. Being in any forcible situation is scary. Sometimes you put yourself in something and there's going to be some force in there. Something's going to be forced. There's going to be situations when you're at work and you get bombarded, but you chose to go to work. That's your job. You get bombarded. There's things that happen, but forcibly being held to a job, scary. It's scary. But even a job you can leave. A child, you leave a child, you fuck up a child, you're a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit. My heart goes out to every parent that's trying, and every good parent, I should say, not just every parent, but every parent that's giving it a try and doing their thing. My heart goes out to you, man. Especially if you're doing it, you're doing that, but you're also doing a job that doesn't excite you, it's nothing that you wanted to do in life. It may fulfill you. You might have turned out fine. You make money, you pay bills, you save money, you can do things, you go on vacation. That's great. That's great. That's awesome. But there's a type of discipline that it takes to keep doing some shit every day that you don't want to do, but you know you have to do it. So there's something to be admired, but I don't want to be put in that motherfucking situation. Shit. I tell you that right now. I don't want to be there. I don't. I try real hard not to put myself. I try hard to put myself there, but not to let things outside of myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't mind. I love backing myself up against the wall. I do my best work. In school, when I was in school, especially in college, and the deadline was a week away, even though I had 2 months to do it, that's when I would do it because I would bang it the fuck out. I'd force myself to do it. It put me in a situation where I forced myself to do it, and I would do phenomenal work every time. That's great. We rise to the occasion as humans. We do. A lot of us do. Even the people that suck at it, they do it. Your heart rate goes up. Things happen. So I can see where some people. It all depends how you look at it. If you say you have a kid, and all right, it's a responsibility now. Everything else shifts. Now it's time to shift over and do this, whatever else. All right, cool. Yeah, that's. I'm losing my train of thought. I'm kind of talking in circles here. Not very much. I think I'm going to end this bastard. I think I am done with this conversation with myself in this room, but other people around the world listening. Like I said, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing and telling others to subscribe. Thank you for sharing. Make sure you follow me on all my social media. All the links are in the description. Just to finish this show off, guys, I have a great appreciation for anyone who is able to do some shit and stay disciplined. I'm realizing that now discipline is much more important than I had led myself to believe in recent months. So here's to bringing it back into your motherfucking life. And not just discipline in your job, because that's easy. That's easy. It's easy to be disciplined to something that's giving you money and giving you a sense of security. It's easy to be loyal to that and disciplined to that. It's the other things, the things that nobody sees. That shit is most important when it comes to discipline. So thank you guys so much for listening. Yet again, I've said it 1,000 times. I'm going to talk to you guys on Thursday with a fucking phenomenal episode. Peace.